Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talks with Todd.
Yo, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, listen, again, I appreciate everybody, all my supporters, everybody that's been watching from day one. Thank you very much. I love each and every last one of you guys. And for those of you that don't follow me on Instagram, make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at Talks Wit Todd. That's Wit, no H, okay? And the reason that is because I go live from time to time. You know, I might switch up a Saturday where I'll drop an episode, or I might just go live on Instagram. So make sure you also follow me on Instagram, because what's on Instagram when I go live, it's exclusively for Instagram. So that will not be on my YouTube channel. I just did an episode today earlier with my homegirl Ari, and it was great. You know, so make sure y'all follow me there, and that way y'all won't have to miss out on the lives. So anyway, today I want to talk to you guys about growth. All right. I've been having a growth spurt for quite some time now. And since that's been happening, certain people have been distant, you know, or I've been getting distant, and it wasn't on purpose. It was just kind of like a thing that happened because through my growth process, I've been experiencing things that I've never experienced before due to me never giving myself time to go through with it, which things like pouring into myself. Never did it. You know, I didn't know for a long time that I really didn't love myself. So when I got to that point of doing things like pouring into myself, you know, showing up for me, I lacked in other areas with other people. One of those people was my wife, or it's been friends, and I wasn't doing it on purpose. It's just that, hey, I've never been here before. I've never got to a point where I poured into myself so much that other people were gonna lack. And to anybody that I've hurt, I apologize. You know, I've already talked to my wife, apologized to her, but she also understands that I've never been here before. So there's a different level of understanding. You know, we were just having a talk recently, and she said that the one thing I like about you in the space that you're in right now, especially by you being in the media, I'm glad that you found something that was, and you made your own lane. You're not trying to be like anybody else. You're happy when you do this, and also you're helping people, and it seems like you really love helping people. And I'm glad you found your calling. I just didn't know that meant that you doing what you were doing was gonna mean I was gonna lack as much as I ended up lacking. Like I told you guys in the last episode about finding your purpose before you find the person you want to be with. You know, this falls in that same category. When you grow, certain things are gonna lack once you start pouring into yourself. So my wife wasn't used to that. She was just used to me pouring into her. You know, basically she got spoiled. And then when I got to a point where I was spoiling myself, that became a problem in my household, you know? And it got to a point where I did have to, again, we talk about balance often enough, where, again, I had to do that. I had to find more balance. However, it's not always easy. You know, when you are pouring into yourself, you just now figuring out, you know, who you are, what your purpose is and everything. It's not that easy to just be like, you know what, let me fall back on me for a little minute. It's hard. It's almost like you get addicted to how it feels to pour into yourself. And you keep growing, and as you're growing, you're realizing you don't like a lot of the same things, or certain things that you used to dislike, and you like, you know what, let me try it out now, you know? So now that I've reached that point, it's getting some use. My wife is trying to get used to it. Hence why we're still together. We're both still trying to figure things out as we're both growing. I'm just growing in a different direction. And with me growing in that different direction, I have to be mindful of certain things. Like there was a time where, again, tunnel vision was a big thing for me, and because I never had it before. I thought I did until I ended up here. My wife had to let me know that like it's been times where we've been in deep conversations and I just zone out. I would literally just zone out, even whether it was me being on the phone with her or us being having a face-to-face conversation. I would literally zone out and start thinking about the future. And that's one thing I could say about my growth. I didn't used to think about the future all the time. I've always been that person, oh, this is what's happening right now, so I'm about to just focus on the now. The now is all that matters. You know, whatever's going to happen in the future is going to happen. Now I'm the person that looks to the future. And I have visions, I have premonitions and everything. And sometimes I can't control that stuff. Certain things just hits me out of nowhere and I can't help it. So I had to explain this. It's obviously it's hard to explain this to the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, because they're not there, so to speak. They're not going to understand you in the way you are and the way that you move all the time, because you're not the same person. So when that third eye opens up and you start seeing things differently, you get these visions and all this and that, you're going to get distracted. And sometimes I can't help it. I'll be listening to it 1 minute, then boom, something just explodes in my mind, and it's like, oh shit. I either completely disregard what she said to me and start talking about what just hit my mind, or I don't say anything because I'm so zoned out. And she would get so angry with me, but she also is starting to understand, like, wow, he really is growing and he's focusing on his goals. And when you're focusing on your goals, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to zone out from time to time. You just have to, I can't even tell you that you have to try to be mindful and balance everything out, because that's easier said than done. I really can't give you guys any game on how to do it. You do have to try to stay focused though, because having a feeling of being ignored, it sucks. And for anybody that's ever been ignored or felt like they were being ignored, that's a hard pill to swallow, because it's like, how are you ignoring me? I'm me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the closest one to you than anybody. So with your growth, you do have to understand that people are going to get hurt. You know, some people are going to feel like you abandoned them, and that's not even the case. You know, you might have been just so focused on what you were doing. Like I said, that tunnel vision is something different. You got to be very careful when you get tunnel vision, because you will inadvertently forget everybody and just stay focused on whatever it is that you're trying to do. So I want people that is going through their growth spurt. I want you guys to stay focused on you. And if you're with somebody, you have kids, please just try to make time for everybody else. Like this part of my day right here, this is all me, right? But once I'm done doing this, I'm done. I learned my balance for doing all of this is, once I'm done, I'm done. Like I'm offline. I done posted my videos. I done made my clips. I done did everything I felt like I was supposed to do. And then I'm done for the rest of the day. All my attention now is to my family. So I want people that's going through their growth spurt, getting their third eye open. If you have anybody else to even focus on, just keep this in mind. Make time for everybody else. You have to have a cutoff time. That's what I want to tell you guys. You have to have a cutoff time. Because if you don't, you're really going to get lost. And I've been lost before. And it gets scary, not for you per se, but for the people that love you. They're going to feel like you're saying, oh, I forget you, I'm done with you, whatever. You're not important anymore because now I'm important. It's going to feel like that to them. But for you, it's like, well, hey, you do realize I'm in new territory. This is all fresh to me. So my bad that I got a little lost in my sauce along the way. It wasn't done intentionally. I didn't just wake up and say, hey, you know what? Today is a good day to just be like, forget everybody. No, it didn't happen like that. It's just that now that I'm now that I'm realizing what's going on with myself and why I'm going through the changes that I'm going through, I just wanna make sure you know that, hey, whoever felt abandoned, I love you. It's not that. It's just I I don't know how to necessarily balance everything out all the time. And I'm not always going to know how to. Some things that I do is going to require some time, especially depending on how important it is to me. Like if I feel like this is something detrimental, I got to stay on top of it. I'm going to have to communicate. I have to get better with communicating. And that's what I want. That's what else I want to tell you guys. While you're going through these stages of your life, especially for those of you that haven't even, feel like you even scratched the surface yet, while you're reaching your goals, while you're going through your growth spurts, communicate with the people that you love. Because if you don't, you're gonna go through that stage of, like I told you guys last episode, that growing apart is something different, and it could what can be deemed as normal to you can be like, damn, this kind of hurts to somebody else that loves you or that you call yourself loving. So it's very important that you find that balance. It's very important that you communicate whatever it is that you're going through. In hindsight, had I known what was really happening with me and why, these changes that was being made, I would have just told my wife or anybody else that felt like I hurt them, hey, listen, I ain't forgot about you. I'm going through something deeper than me right now, and I'm just trying to tap into it and see exactly what it is and what I can get out of it, right? So that's the conversation I wish I would have had with the people that I have hurt going through my growth spurt. So now that I'm here, I am better with communicating. I am better with letting my wife know what's on my mind and where I stand with everything. And you have to, and for the people that's on the other side of that, the people that's on the other side of the person that you feel as though that's growing apart from you, understand that they are in new territory and they don't know everything. They don't know exactly what they're doing at the moment. Be mindful and be a little more patient. Unless things just get too out of control, be patient. Be patient and try to talk to them cool and calm. Don't talk at them, and also don't let things build up. There have been times where my wife have let certain situations build up before coming to me and talking to me as her husband, as an adult, and she kind of blew up. She blew up because she wasn't trying to nag. What my wife realized she had to do was she had to figure out a way to find a balance between letting me know what's going wrong and keeping certain things to herself, because everything that's on your mind doesn't have to be said, but what's really bothering you does have to be said, because if you don't come out and say it, you're going to implode. There's nothing healthy about imploding. So you guys that's on the receiving end of the person that's growing and elevating, be mindful of how you need to communicate as well. Be mindful that you need to be somewhat patient, because this is all a fresh start for them. It's almost like they're a newborn baby again, just learning how to walk and talk and everything else. That's exactly what this feels like. I'm just an adult going through it. So that's pretty much it, y'all. I wasn't trying to keep y'all all day. I already went live. I already had another show, and that was great too. So again, if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you follow me, Talks Wit Todd. Okay? I'm going live probably every other Saturday maybe, and it might be something random one day. I know I'm celebrating my birthday next month, so one Saturday I'm gonna be completely gone. I'm about to be out. I'm about to be celebrating. I didn't plan on celebrating, but I'm gonna do it anyway because you know what? One thing that my wife did remind me of, look where I was at last year compared to this year. It was such a glow up. Such a glow up. Not even just with podcasting. I mean just in general. Me as a person, my confidence, my level of understanding people. Like let me get into the greatness of the growth before I let you guys go. What's amazing about this whole, you know, going through your whole growth spurt thing is that you get to looking at things totally different. Like I understand people better, even people on their bullshit. I get it. I'm so much more understanding. Like, you know what? People are gonna be who they are, and you have to give them that space to be exactly who they are, and not condemn them for it. You know what I'm saying? There have been mistakes that people have made with me that I no longer take personal. I get it. I don't have to rock with you the same, but I get it. So my level of understanding has changed. I'm not harsh on people no more because I understand that people are going to be people. They're going to be flawed. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to do things that I don't like or you don't like. That level of understanding came with me going through my growth spurt. So that right there, right, just off of that alone, it's great because it keeps you from holding grudges, having resentment towards people. It's almost like you get into a complete place of peace with anything almost. You know, obviously some things, depending on how serious it is, it's gonna bother you. You're gonna get upset. I'm not gonna act like I'm on some straight up, oh, everything is peace and love hippie type shit. No, I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is your level of understanding when you reach this level is gonna be better. Your patience for people is gonna get better. Now, the downside of my growth, you know, especially dealing with me being in a marriage that I'm really committed to, is that I just realized this too, y'all. When I started going through my growth spurt and just elevating everything, my way of thinking more positive, you know, being more understanding, being more patient, being more confident, loving myself more, loving on myself, you know, not get your mind out the gutter. You know what I mean? I'm just talking about just taking care of myself better, you know, learning how to pick, not only knowing how to pick my piece, but make my piece. What you don't realize is that your significant other might not be on that level with you just yet. You know, like while you're there, while you all the way up there with your way of thinking, your confidence, all of that, that does not mean your partner is gonna come with you. And I just recently realized this. My wife for the past 5 to 6 months has been telling me I've been coming at her, or my patience with her has been off. I used to be better with it. And what she was saying was, you know, sometimes she'll come at me about something and I would normally be cooler about a situation or more understanding and, you know, talk to her more about it. She said I've become more dismissive, or my patience just wasn't there. I would snap. And I finally realized what my problem was. While I was elevating, my wife wasn't. Not, at least not in the department that I was. I'm not gonna say she wasn't elevating at all. She was elevating with things that she was elevating with on her own, but it wasn't with the same thing that I was elevating with. And because of that, my patience for her was shorter. Like, prime example, I'm big on people having confidence. So when my wife comes to me with something that she's insecure about, it bothered me because I'm like, how the hell are you insecure at this point? What is there for you to be insecure about? I go to work, I pod, I come home, and then to top it all off, damn near every episode, whether I'm on the Rise and Grind Morning Show, I'm on Respectfully Speaking, or my own platform, which is Talks with Todd, I'm bigging you up in some way. So you getting praised 3, sometimes maybe even 4 times a week depending on what I'm decide to talk about or whatever random video I decide to throw out there. What are you insecure about, woman? Then I had to realize, wait a minute, she's not where I'm at. So I gotta chill. I gotta be a little more patient. And like I said, this just happened. So that's why I'm able to give it to y'all like this. This just happened, and I just realized what the problem was. Because she wasn't on my level of thinking or confidence, none of that, my patience was not the same. So I'm like, how are you having these issues? I'm not cheating on you. I'm not beating on you. I'm not mistreating nobody you love. Like, what is the problem? But I understood. I finally, she woke me up one day and made me understand what happened. Where did we started going south with me and how I deal with her, or how I respond to her rather. So everybody that's elevating, I want y'all to be mindful of how you respond to your partners, your significant others, whatever. I want y'all to be mindful of that, because it can come off as condescending, probably even arrogant sometimes, depending on your delivery. And you just gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, because while you're up here, you thinking that the people around you are going up there with you because of what you're projecting. Basically, you can't project. I'm still learning that, y'all. You cannot project what you know what I'm saying, what you want from other people. It's not gonna work like that. You think in a perfect world, yes, that will work, but that's not what we living in right now. So don't project nothing. Still communicate. Whatever uncomfortable conversation you need to have, please have it. And I'm not gonna say things are gonna be perfect, because again, it still might be some issues, but it's not gonna be that many issues as long as you pay attention to how you communicate, how your delivery is. And I think everything will kind of go smoother, you know? So that's all I got for y'all, man. Thank you for joining me once again. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all and love you all. I'm out of here. Indeed.